So welcome back. This is video number 5, and we're going to talk about time management tools and how to really automate things, how to make things easier for you, how to really speed things up and make things more efficient. Now, obviously, we like to think about tools and we like to think about how tools can really solve our problems. Now, the reason why I didn't start with tools because I really wanted to make you understand the crucial points before you jump into tools. Up until this point, you realize that, okay, it's actually quite complicated. You can't multitask and things like that. So what is out there that can actually help you? Well, we've put to the test several different programs and different types of programs, and we've come down to kind of a list of things that will help you out. So like I said, it's easy to get overwhelmed, and there are tools, fortunately for you, that can help you with your to-dos and more easily. So what we like to stick with is the basics, which is a paper planner or a calendar. So whether you want to put it on paper, that's fine. If you don't want to put it on paper, then you're going to want to put it on some sort of calendar that you constantly have access to. So some of you out there might rely specifically on stuff like paper, and you might still write stuff on paper. But then some of you might actually be stuck to your mobile phones all the time. But having some sort of calendar is really handy and can be updated anywhere. So your planner should have at least one page for each day. So if you do have a physical planner, great. If you don't, make sure that your calendar or your planner has some sort of page that you can actually write notes in and things like that. So ideally you want to have, for number one, a mobile calendar. For example, iCalendar, or even, Google Calendar is fine too. In fact, I myself have an iPhone, and I have an iPhone that is connected to my Google Calendar, and so is my iPad, and so is my other, computers and everything like that. They're all connected to one centralized location. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you're out and about, so you really know yourself better, if you have a job or you have a business that, you're constantly out and about and you're constantly stuck to your iPhone, then you might want to do a mobile calendar. Now, if you notice that, okay, you're at your desk, you don't really use your iPhone, you don't really use a phone as much, then you might want to stick with a paper calendar. But regardless of what it is, technology, online technology, or paper, you want to have a calendar and you want to have full access to it at all times. So if you do have a paper calendar, you might want to have that, ability to carry it around, and you want to have at least one page for each day so that you can jot down notes. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Pomodoro timer apps. Now, I'm going to show you exactly, what type of apps you can use, where to get these apps, and so forth. But Pomodoro basically kind of follows the, 20-minute timers and then 5-minute break, or 25-minute, and so forth and so forth. So it kind of creates an agile mind. So what it does is it sets your break period every 25 minutes. So you work and work and work. And even though I said the attention span is 20 minutes, generally speaking, sometimes it can stretch between 20 to 25. So what it does is this timer basically sets itself for 25 minutes. Now you could set it to 20 minutes if you want, that's fine. But the goal of here is to work 20, 25 minutes, break, and then so forth and so forth. Because the reality of it all is that you're not going to be able to know, okay, I actually spent 20 minutes or not. And by looking at the clock or anything, you're not really going to know, because time is going to fly by. You're going to end up spending a lot of time and so forth. Now, what this is going to do over time, after a day, you're going to notice, wow, next day. And the next day might be somewhat of a drag, but guess what? As long as you can continue on with this exercise over and over and over, and it becomes a habit, then what's going to happen is your mind is going to be working really, really hard during those 25 minutes. And then it's going to know, okay, I can break. Now, when I say break, Make sure that you get up, stretch, go to the bathroom, walk around. Don't just stay in one place and take a break. So when I say break, don't go to Facebook and break or go to Twitter, because that's just going to distract you. You want to get to a point where you're not really thinking about anything. You're just thinking about the mundane, okay, I got to get a cup of coffee or water or whatever. Just don't let your brain think. Just let your eyes rest as well, which helps, because if you think about it, on the flip side, ophthalmologists, for example, eye doctors, generally speaking, will tell you to stare at the computer and then for 5 minutes stare really far away. Because what that is going to do is it's going to help your eyes and help your brain. So if you follow this is really going to help you out. This is something that really, really is powerful. It's simple, but it's powerful. If you have a concrete time, and a date to do it, then that's the only time that you should add it to your calendar. So what I mean by that is if you look at your day-to-day outline and you look at the time that you're most efficient, then you want to implement the Pomodoro technique at that time. Now, going back to the question, when am I going to do it? If you ask yourself that question in application to a project or anything like that, and you really don't know the answer to that yet, then it probably means that it's not urgent and it's not important to you. If you have to do something urgently and you're thinking, okay, I got to do this now, but when can I do it? That's fine. But if you're thinking, I don't know when I can fit this into, my schedule, I don't really know if it's really that important, and that's what you're thinking, then it's probably not urgent. So my point here is that besides the calendars, but besides the tools and everything like that, you have to be committed in getting things done. So no sophisticated tool will actually help you if you do not commit to your calendar. Of course, this doesn't mean you can't reschedule, but you always want to look at a task and ask yourself, when am I going to do it? And try to focus in on those points and areas that you're more alert and see if you can do it then. If you're kind of whiffly waffly, then that's a good sign that that might not be as important. And then you need to ask yourself, is this something that I really need to do? Or is this something that I don't really need to do? So you want to also prioritize at the same time. So that brings us to video number 6, which is Pomodoro technique timers. The goal of this is to help you create a more agile mind. And I'm going to hone in on very specific apps that you can actually download and utilize immediately right now.